And welcome to the Hired Gun Podcast with your host, the Hired Gun. First, like, subscribe, share. How you doing, y'all? Um, SmackDown was okay. Now, I'm not saying SmackDown didn't have some stuff that were positive, but the SmackDown show got overshadowed by wrestlers getting the release that night, that day. Now, I should have known where where there was smoke, there was fire, because uh, earlier that Friday there were some. There was a thing I read that said that some talent are worried about cuts, and I forgot that that after Mania, there is a spree of cuts that happen. Now, mind you, usually it happens mid mid time too. Now, and then they've been better with the whole cut situation. Now, mind you, what they've been doing lately is just letting contracts run out. Now, don't know if some of these are just contracts. Some of these are just contracts not being renewed. Don't know that yet. Don't know that yet. That hasn't came out yet. But uh, when they called up over Javon Evans and Trick, there were over Javon Evans, Trick, uh, who else was it? Jordan Grace. Was that it? Think that was it. Think that was it. And Stephanie. And Stephanie. No, no. Stephanie and Julia were different. A different call up. But they got called up too. Even then, there were no cuts. Okay, and what I usually say about you know when people say, oh, they should call this person up. They should call that person up. Right, right. That ain't always good because I'm pretty sure the main roster has uh okay I'm pretty sure the main roster has a salary cap, just like football, just like baseball, just like basketball. There's a salary cap. Well, not baseball, basketball and football. Baseball really doesn't have a salary cap. They should, but they don't. This is why the Dodgers do what they do. Okay, this is why the Yankees you should do what they do. This is why uh, the Nets, you know, the payroll, you know. So I'm pretty sure that the main roster has a payroll. Now I'm not saying that that because Rain is good at saying that if you're not selling merch, you're gonna get released, which is true. To a certain extent, that's true because you got to sell for the company to stay with the company. Now, with these cuts, this is the first time in a minute I've seen cuts that people that are active on the roster, they're not sitting in creative, not doing anything. Like these cuts were people who had major story time, like White Six. Regardless of how we feel about the White Six and their run, I uh, they were on TV. Right? They were supposed to have a match this week, and it didn't happen. The reason we got so much shift going around on SmackDown last night, and it was like so people were missing because of the fact that they gutted that whole roster. Like 95% of the people who got fired last night were on SmackDown, and then they literally plucked NXT almost fully because all right, so Blade Monroe got called up. She didn't show up on TV last night, no, but she's being called up. They had a vignette of her last night. Sorry, y'all. Ricky Saint is debuting next week. All right, they called up. Now I knew Jay was getting called up. All right, but they called up the whole Fatal Influence, and boy, let me tell you something. She got so much heat last night. Her alone, and it just shows you what she's done and how she elevated her. She's leveled up on NXT, right? With her character, because she wouldn't have got if she would have got called up with Mandy Rose them, right? Or called up when she was with uh um Chase U Academy and stuff, she wouldn't have got this heat, this much heat that she got last night. Like ever since she won the NXT Women's title twice and the TNA Knockouts title, right? She's been on another level of her character. And you got some people who would say, "Oh, I don't know why she's uh, there. I don't know why they keep stuff of her in my face. I wish." Like they're saying that, but they're not seeing the character development with her. And last night proved that because she got so much heat, like so much heat that they have to do something with. Because either you gonna be over because the fans are cheering you or booing you. And what happened last night was massive for her. Now going back to these releases now. So, like I said, some of these people wasn't getting used. Okay, alright. Like as much as I'm a fan of the Motor City Machine Guns, they wasn't doing anything. Like main event, WrestleMania weekend, they were on. They had a match on which I watched, but they had a match on YouTube for the for the fans. That fanatic thing they had, for the same situation. I mean, for for WrestleMania weekend. That where Xavier Woods was there, everybody was there. Like you go there, so your merch can get signed. Like you go there, so you know all that can get signed up and everything. Um, so like certain people were gonna get cut. Right? And like I said, I'm a Motor City Machine Gun fan. I am, and they were gonna start off something new with Johnny Gargano, but that didn't happen. Which some of the wrestlers last night weren't on the show. Not the ones that got cut. Obviously, they got cut around like people found out about their release around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But people that were missing was Jade, Jordan Grace, um, Last Legend, Nia Jax, Mello, Dragonoff. All these people were missing last night. All right. Right now, I think Dragunov and Melo are safe from this situation. Uh, you know, but the weekend's still here. I think the safe spot is Monday. I think the safe spot is Monday. And Janica Grano was missing last night. Um, One of his Hunger brothers was missing last night, but he was missing. So there's that. But like Ryan said about merch being so some of that matters. Some, not all of it. And then like uh, Selena Vega said last night that she got a phone call from TKO. Now I want people to understand something. Like last night when I heard about the TKO thing and them being the people with the fire that handled the firings, you know, it's easy to say fuck TKO, right? And they're the reason why this is happening. It's true. That part's true. But what we gotta understand about certain things, Triple H and Tony Khan, not Tony Khan, Nick Khan are on the TKO board of directors. So yes, when you look at TKO and the higher ups, yes, they have some say or they can point out stuff. Yes, they can. But Triple H is the one still looking at the salary cap they have for the main roster and who they bringing up, new contracts, right? He he sees that. Not Tony, Nick Khan sees that too, right? And they have the roster, the main roster, less the people or what people make. Now, you can look at that and then you can ship that around and you can see, oh, if this person's bringing in this, but they're only doing this, okay, they can get pockets of that too. Now, what I'm gonna say about some the other cuts now, like I said, this is the first cuts that or releases that I've seen that people were on TV. People had like story driven stuff happening. Like Anderson Black. Now I believe more. They was gonna fire Vega, and then Black said, "Nah, I'm good. I go too." Because how do you go from pinning Randy Orton, pinning Sammy, pinning uh pinning Damian Priest, being in a storyline, right, and being in and everything to being fired. I really think they was gonna fire Selena. Oh, and then you know, uh, Black said, "Nah, I can go too." You know, So there's that, right? Then the White Six. So listen, how the White Six were portrayed in the beginning fell flat. Uh, not how they were portrayed in the beginning though. No, like it was a major impact in the beginning. But then after that, it it it, it after that situation it fell flat because then you have to portray them as unstoppable, an unstoppable force, and that was never gonna happen. And I feel like the Wyatt Six always had a ceiling, and the ceiling was never going to be the main roster. I mean, not the main roster. It was never going to be main event material because then they started losing and getting pinned, and then all the mystery and the myth of it went away too after that. You know, like all that went away after that too. So you got to think about stuff like that. And then, you know, some of this people didn't like it because Ray wasn't around it on it, or some people didn't like it because it reminded people of Ray. But all of them, the whole White Six got cut last night, yesterday, all of them, and I get it. Like I get it. If you cut one, you gotta cut all of them because like you can't keep all of them. You can't keep one and then I mean you could have, but then you gotta uh, rebrand certain people. Then you know, like I think it would just like I know people. I know they had. I know the White Chicks had a following. They did have a following, and when they would lose, people would get mad and upset. Yeah, not me. Like I didn't because, like I said, I knew the YSX always had a ceiling, you know, and it was either some mid card material or tag team card material, you know, and and that was it. It was never going to be higher than that. And now, one thing you got to understand too is people that were going to be safe from this is people that can't be touched. You know, like a lot of the Samoans not going to be touched. Like they not. They won't. Randy Orton won't be touched. Cody won't be touched. CM Punk won't be touched. Rhea won't be touched. Bianca, nah. Naomi, nah. So when you start cutting payroll, right, it's gonna be the people that you can look at and say, well, this won't move the needle. If I release these people, this won't move the needle, even though they had a following. Like just by today, right? I heard people say that they not a fan of Anderson Black. So and I am right. So him being cut, it's not going to be a big deal. The only way it's a big deal is because of the fact he was being used. He was being used a lot, like a lot. You know, on TV, on stories. But once they strapped that whole uh, angle, they strapped everything about it. You know, but because he was supposed to be the one on the phone call with Randy, right? And then once Pat got involved, and then Pat pulled out of it, pause. You know, that was it. Now, you got more cuts when it came. Now, surprisingly, certain people wasn't cut. Like I go on Twitter. Uh, I go on Twitter almost every day, right? And I see Angel Garza and his brother. Oh, which I mean his cousin. Which okay. What's such about this here, but other cuts. I'm gonna go back to what I was saying. You know, let me put on what I was going to say. Andrew Garza and his cousin are waiting to get released. All their contracts expired, right? So then, um, what's his name? Uh, what's his name? What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? Hold on, yo. Escobar. Escobar got released last night too, right? Now, what sucks about him, and Zoe Starks, she got released. Now, what sucks about those two being released, they were injured. Now, Zoe said she got cleared. So, less fucked up. But, uh, Escobar got released, and he had to go in for second surgery. All right. Right now, mind you, some of this is expected because of the fact that it's happened before. Like it has. People have neck injuries and injuries, and now again, once again, some people are untouchable. Kevin Owens had a neck injury, and he's been gone almost 2 years now. He missed last mini, he missed this mini, right? Right? They didn't cut him, right? And I'm a co, and that's my guy. I, I'm a fan, number one fan right there. Now maybe if you got a no cut clause on your contract, which is rare. Now some people don't got that. I mean, some people got it in wrestling. They do. They ask for it, so they don't have to worry about this shit. Pretty sure Roman got it. Pretty sure Punk or Cody got. I got this. But then again, the main rock. I mean, the main eventers, unless their contract runs out, that's it. They won't because they sell merch. Again, that does matter. It does, but it sucks though. It really do because again, I'm gonna say this again. Some of these people who got cut, and I'm leaving some people out because there was like at least a dozen of people who got cut yesterday. All right, and now you gotta worry about the weekend and hope it doesn't happen on the weekend. More, because like I said, there's some people who didn't show up on SmackDown last night. So we gotta see about that shit. You know, and see who shifts to Raw and who shifts to SmackDown still. But again, NXT got plucked. Like they're doing a whole rebuild in NXT right now, like a whole rebuild. Like seriously rebuild. Because anybody was iffy about, or I mean not iffy about, anybody who was iffy about getting called up went up. And it's not a bad thing because of the fact that anybody who got called up was ready to get called up. Like the only person you can say probably wasn't ready to be called up is the Reed from Fatal Infamy because she's only been wrestling for 2 years. Now I see the talent. Always doing. I see the talent though in her. Alright, but she went up when Jay went up. She went up. The whole group went up. So it is what it is for her, But it happens. It definitely happens. That is definitely a thing, when you get called up. Alright, but Ethan Page, Blake Monroe, who was that called up last night? Ricky Saint. All these people have been at NXT enough for them to get called up. Now, NXT got to shift and go for what they know. Like NXT hasn't been this weak in talent in a minute now. Now this is why they sign other people to come in because of the fact that you need that too, like to rebuild NXT and get new faces. All right, because now it'll be a minute before they call somebody else up now. Besides Tony D, He's the last person standing from anything now. He's the vet. Him and Lola Vice, or the last of the Mohicans with vet material, like on the main roster. Oh, what's the name? What's the name? The blonde, the blonde Ricky's girlfriend. I forgot her name right now. Alright, but she's they're it. They're the veterans now. Oh, and you can say the North American champion, Izzy. Oh, Izzy. Hey, Izzy's not the North American champion. Izzy, that's her name. The blonde I was talking about. Um, but the North American champion, her too. Like those are the vets now. At NXT. Because everybody else got called up. Who's a vet? So now we got to see what happened Monday. All right, and then we got to see what happened Friday and see how all this is gonna pan out. But like I said, it's such for when it happens. It does. But one thing you gotta do is support the people that you follow. I mean, like support meaning follow wherever they go. Whether it's NXT, not NXT, whether it's AEW, TNA, because some of the like whenever they contracts up, they can go TNA, they can go AEW, and go from there. Nah, I think Vega and I think Vega and it's blessed to go to TNA. It'll work, you know. And New Japan, yeah, it all depends on where they go. I don't think Black's going back to AEW. I think that ship has sell. But we'll see. I'm gonna end the show with that. Make sure you gotta like, subscribe, share. Make sure you gotta watch wrestling. Make sure you gotta watch E-Feds, New Breed. We should have some new stuff coming up pretty soon. This is the High Gun Podcast with the High Gun. God bless, love y'all. I'm out.